Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at Jada's Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger. Look at that glare that I have. Again, this is one of those things that, did we really need Frosted Flakes figures? Did we really need Chester Cheetah or any of these ones, the Flintstones that we're going to get? Probably not. But has Jada kicked it out of the park with this type of stuff? They did. And you see something like this and you're like, you know what? It's awesome because it can be a one-off. It's something that I can just get. He looks cool. You can probably use him with all kinds of things, whether it be G.I. Joe, Jada Street Fighter, your Operation Monster Force, Marvel Legends, whatever. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this. And the first thing that we're going to look at is that it looks like the box of Frosted Flakes. Kellogg's tells you it's an action figure. On the side here, it tells you everything about it. Which is supposed to be like the ingredients, whatever the nutritional value is. There's no nutritional value in Frosted Flakes. And then you have the figure with everything that he comes with. There is the back shot of him, and then there is the side. Then when you open it up, there you go. It says Slam Dunk, and you can see everything that he does come with. All right. It does have a magnetic seal, so you can close it. And then there you go. On the top, you have Tony. And then there you go. If you need the barcode, you can have it. These are showing up at Target before anyone asks. I just walked into Target. They have a whole bunch of them. So I don't think you're not going to have a chance to get these. So anyway, let's get this thing open. Let's see how he is. I'm not going to compare him to Chester Cheetah because this kind of a cool figure, but this one seems like it may have a little bit more articulation. I truly do believe that the articulation between these are going to be just completely different because you can't really reuse them too many times. And what is cool, this thing was only $25. Anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when I drop a Jada Frosted Flakes, Chester Cheetah, Street Fighter, whatever, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. Okay, so Tony is out, and we're going to take a look at it. You can see I have Blueberries cereal box there. You can see my Chester Cheetah, and then you can see my Sea Bison. This is the Kit Bash, the greatest Kit Bash of all time. Anyway, let's look at his accessories first if you're new to the channel. So we'll start with the Frosted Flakes, and you can see here it is Tiger looking at it saying, "They're great." I know every single person that does a review is going to do that, but what do you expect, okay? Frosted Flakes of corn. There you go. There's your calories, all your ingredients and everything there. And then on the back, we see some Frosted Flakes. We got a QR code. Ooh, I wonder where that leads to. Well, you know what? We're going to have to check that out. I'll check that out before we finish up and see where it's see what it leads to anyway. It actually says, scan code for more Tony fun. So kind of interested to see what that will be. You have your Mission Tiger, bunch of different Tony the Tiger. And then, again, this is the same thing that you would see on the cereal box. Nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. All right. We're going to look at his hands. We have a thumbs up hand. Almost the same color as Chester Cheetah. You have this orange. No real paint rub over. I think it looks pretty good there. There's not too much. It's just his nice thumbs up. We have a palming hand. All right. So you got the peg there. That's what's going to plug the basketball into it. We can move it up and down. It does. Well, this one actually doesn't. It's pliable. I mean, it's not soft, but it's pliable. Again, paint looks good. You can see he's got, he only has 4 fingers. Hope no one gets too mad about that. We have a pointing finger. I'm going to try not to lose the ball. The pointing finger, again, bottom of his hand. A little over paint right there. Actually on both sides there. Luckily, it's going to be hidden for the most part. Here we have his his cereal hand. I don't know why I wanted to call this zero hand. His spoon hand with his frosted flakes right there. Again, not bad. Something pretty cool. It would have been cool if this thing... Alright, this thing does come out. It's kind of odd that it's actually in there, but you have one accessory here. It's going to fit right on in there. So we can use it for other things. Maybe I want my my Punisher to be having some frosted flakes before he goes out and mows down some bad guys. But we got some nice little detail there. It looks more like macaroni and cheese than anything. All right, and then we have another pointing hand with his this little, that's his barrel for his finger gun. Now that's actually going to be for the basketball. So here's your basketball. There's no lines on it. All right, so this would have been nice had they painted some lines like a real basketball. I mean, they put the texture on it. So if we want, we're going to plug that in there. And this is nice and a nice solid round ball, but this is a softer plastic. So that's going to fit in perfectly fine. Don't have to worry about that coming off. And then the palming hand, I'm going to assume, is the same way. So he can palm the ball. All right, here's his cornflakes. They're not cornflakes, they're frosted flakes. Bowl is just regular, you know, a regular white plastic. And then you have your frosted flakes all on the top. Now, it does not look like frosted flakes because, you know, it looks more like macaroni and cheese because there's no white in it. So, I think anytime that we had frosted flakes, first off, they're frosted. These don't look frosted at all. And then you'd have the white milk. So it doesn't really look anything like a bowl of frosted flakes. My personal opinion. Then you're going to have this this little accessory here that goes around the ball. You can make it look like he's spinning it when it's on his finger. You can make it look like he's double dribbling like LeBron. How you can probably put it on top of someone's head to make it look like they just got knocked out. Or maybe that they're an angel. But that's not what you came to look for. You guys want to see, how is Tony the Tiger? Is he worth $25? This guy is a big hunk of plastic already. So let's take a look at all his detail and then we'll look at his articulation. So he's got the blue nose. He got some black in there. The eyes look really nice. I mean, you look at Tony the Tiger. I mean, this is what you think of. He's got the open mouth and it is black on the inside. A couple stripes running up here. And then you have the black ears with the white. For the most part, the white looks like there's maybe not the greatest paint in there. But it doesn't look awful. And then you kind of go all the way around the back. It kind of looks like a G.I. Joe bat. Like the original bat. Alright, we have a soft goods neckerchief right here that I guess he's going to be wearing. We have the tuxedo that tigers do have, and then we have the stripes that are right there. And then obviously we have nice stripes. And that looks really good. You know, there's nowhere for it to really be messed up as long as they put the stripes on nicely and they don't like just overspray anywhere. You're going to have the paint right here. You have an open hand here so he can hold his box. All right, because you want to be able to hold the actual box. Because I can tell you, my Booberry, he can't really hold this. That thing just came with it. I only bought it because it was glow in the dark. It's got the tail in the back here that is going to move around. And as for his articulation, his head can look up that far, and he can look down side to side, kind of to the side too. And he feels nice and smooth. Perfect T-pose. He's got the bicep swivel, all right, and the shoulder swivel. Double pinless joints. Now you're only going to get so much maneuverability here as to how big the bicep is right here. And then he has a fist in case he wants to punch somebody. But it feels really smooth, the same as any of the Jada Street Fighters. So he has a diaphragm cut and two different. He's had a diaphragm cut, and then rather than having an ab crunch, it's like another cut here. So he can go all the way back. He can go all the way forward. His side to side is absolutely amazing. I mean, he can move completely around. As for his feet, there's his Jean-Claude Van Damme, or his legs, shall I say. No drop down hips. He can kick straight up. Only single jointed knees, but he gets 90 degrees. With something that small, I think it's going to be hard to get more than that. And then he has his ankle rockers. No pegs on the bottom of his feet. All right. You have UKCA right there. All right. It's made in China. Jada Toys, Incorporated China. And then you have the bottom of his feet, which are going to make him so they're not flat. Now, I don't know if that's going to be better or worse, because I haven't even tried to stand this guy yet. And I got to get him back to where he needs to be. Alright. But we do have the tail here, which is going to articulate up and down and completely around. So you're going to be able to use this here. Now you can look at the paint at the end. That's what you're going to use as his little tripod. I have a feeling if we move this up, you're going to have a much harder time trying to pose him. And because there are no pegs for stands, perfectly fine by me, you're going to need to use that tail as a tripod for sure. So, oh, I forgot to show the whiskers too, which are soft and pliable the same way as Chester Cheetahs are. All right. So as for his hands, let's pop this one off. Ooh, that thing came off super easy. Like I was actually like pulling pretty hard. Gonna pop this on here, maybe. Straighten that bad boy out. Pops on super easy. All right. Gonna make him spinning this basketball. I gotta say, the amount of articulation on this thing is really, really good. Now, his hands, the wrists go back and forth like this. I thought they would have gone in or out. That would have seemed to make a little bit more sense. All right, he does seem, he's not loose, but he's smooth. All right, and what I mean by that is you kind of have to pose him where you want him and then put everything on. He's not going to be, it doesn't seem to be solid when you set him somewhere. Going to have him hold his Frosted Flakes. You can see he's spinning his basketball, and we'll make him looking directly at you. All right. So no issues there. Changing things out. Hands are pretty good. All right. Now let's kind of throw in what else are we going to do here. Now he doesn't have, he has all these left hands here. Make him eating some, making him eat some cereal. As he's just kind of holding this. He doesn't really have anywhere to sit. Can't really do too much with his legs. They're short, especially when he's eating. There's really no reason for him to be anywhere else rather than just kind of eating, right? So you can get him eating, not a problem there. I do like the fact that his mouth is open. You can see his little red tongue. It actually pops out from this angle way better. All right. Now if we want him playing a little bit of basketball, that's what I was looking for, another open hand. So I'm going to make him kind of dribbling this basketball. And I'm trying to think of what hand to throw on here. You know what? We'll throw the pointing hand. Like he's basically pointing out where he's going to go. Get ready for that to happen a lot if you get this figure. That ball is going to go rolling like crazy, all right? I just kind of want to show you you know, how easy or how hard they are to pose. All right. So can we get him on one hand? Like he's about ready to drive the basketball. Drive the hoop. I guess you don't really drive the basketball. Technically, you do drive the basketball. You drive to the hoop, all right? So there he is on 1 foot. So you can get him on 1 foot. He's going to fall. This cardboard, it doesn't really help at all, right? So here he is. He's basically telling where he wants everyone to go on the court. This one's going to take quite some time to actually stand on one hand. So, but I think you're going to be able to get him probably in better poses. Or this one's already better than any of the those starting lineup figures that probably going to sell better. This guy won't end up at Ollie's. That's for sure. There you go. Now let's see about the head popping off here. So the head pops off. That's a fairly big ball joint. And it's definitely not going to fit with Chester Cheetah, because that would have actually been pretty cool had you had a big giant cheetah that's more like a tiger. Now we could put this on here. Need a little bit of sticky tack, but that actually looks pretty damn funny, to be 100% honest. That is actually pretty funny. At least I thought it was funny. Maybe you didn't. But anyway, there you go. That is Tony the Tiger, your Jada review. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if you got him. So there you go. That is your Tony the Tiger, the Jada Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. I think that these things are just fun. Again, maybe you liked Frosted Flakes as a kid. Maybe your dad did, your mom, your brother, sister, something like that, where you can buy this for him. Maybe you just think he's pretty cool. I do think the likeness looks really good. Again, Jada has been knocking out of the park with their figures. I think this figure is really nice. He's very smooth. And to the point where when you kind of move him around, he might be a little difficult because he'll just move a little bit too much. I'm not sure if I worry about him getting loose. That's something time will tell. But he'll be fun to do a lot of different shots with. I do wish that their cereal box was a little bit smaller. This is bigger than like a Costco one. So if you want to put it in the back of like your G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends, something like that, world building out. I don't know how well it's going to fit, but again, they're toys, so I guess you can make anything work. But there you go. And even right here, it even has right there on his neckerchief. So these things are fun. They are available at Target. So 25 bucks. Go ahead, pick them up if you like this. If you're like, hey, you know what? I don't need a Tony the Tiger, then don't pick it up. And don't complain about it, because you know you don't have to buy everything. You really don't. I don't either, but I buy a lot. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, you stayed this long, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Jada cereal figure, a food figure. So you know what I'm going to do right up here is I'm going to drop that Chester Cheetah, and down here will be a playlist of all the Jada stuff that I've done. Take care.